Yo, we back with another one, yo. My boy Rocky 6768, I think that's his name. Rocky, whatever. Nah, I ain't gonna say whatever, but you know what I'm saying he got another video I got interest in, so we about to watch that. Y'all better watch that with me. That's it. Shout out to my boy, man.
A government informant, who is a member of the New York City Young Gunners, also known as YG's gang, is about to testify in federal court. The prosecutor begins questioning him.
Good morning, Mr. Brooks.
Good morning.
Niggas got the word for word. Like, they could make a movie script, brother. Like, this is crazy.
Do you have any nicknames, Mr. Brooks?
Yes, Day or Dollar.
Mr. Brooks, where do you currently live?
Geo facility.
Where did you live before you lived at the Geo facility?
MDC Brooklyn.
When were you arrested?
June 26th, 2015.
Are you here testifying pursuant to a cooperation agreement with the government?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks, were you ever a member of a gang?
Yes.
What gang?
YG's the Young Gunners.
Do you see any members of that gang in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Who do you see?
Rel.
Can you identify Rel by pointing him out and by an article of clothing that he is wearing?
So, you remember my friend's...
Yo, bro, that shit is bananas. You think that's your man the whole time. Niggas see the judge. It's quiet. Niggas start singing, boy, like Usher. Niggas start singing like Usher, bro. That's crazy.
Did Rel ever tell you about any crimes that he committed?
Yes.
What types of crimes did he tell you about?
Murder, robberies, shootings.
Let's talk about the murder that Rel told you about. Did Rel tell you who the victim of that murder was?
Yes.
Who was that?
Moises Laura.
Moises Laura, also known as NOAH Balla, was a 16-year-old member of the Cortlandt Avenue crew, or OG's gang, but he was not a top associate by any means. His name lives in infamy to this day, with some New York City drill rappers disrespecting him constantly.
Don't like when your block and think shit sweet, cause you go out like NOAH. Dog, I'm a
nigga, he ain't dead. He from NOAH block. Stomp him out, in him in his head, like what NOAH's got.
Newly released files show that prosecutors stated the following. This is the center of the Melrose housing projects. 700 Morris Avenue is one of the buildings in it. It's the building that Mr. Laura lived in.
Yo, somebody gotta try to unify New York City, bro, because these niggas is tweaking, man.
Place where people get affordable housing, live their lives, go to work.
This shit fake demonic. Like, it's fake some demonic, satanic ritual shit, bro. Niggas is tweaking.
Children are supposed to be able to go and play, and they're not supposed to fear for their safety or worry that their children are going to be exposed to violence or be the victims of violence. Now, Mr. Laura was a member of a gang. He was regarded as kind of a mascot. He is a little guy. He was
I ain't gonna lie, I'll be around there over there. I ain't gonna say how or why, but it's a cool side of town, I ain't gonna lie. Niggas don't be fucking with people. Random people. They just don't be bothering niggas. I can't speak for niggas they on jack, but you know, if you just passing by, niggas ain't bothering you. Niggas just cool over there. They be litty in the summertime. I ain't gonna lie.
He was 90 pounds. We don't know if he had a medical disorder, but he was frail. On or about April 16, 2012, a group of YG's members including William Rel Bracy, Wendell Deli Del Bell, and Anthony Reddick, aka Aunt Flocka, were hanging out in the Bronx, near the vicinity of 163rd Street and Morris Avenue. This large group of YG's members are getting drunk off of hard liquor, and begin arguing amongst each other about who among them had put in the most work for the YGs. Bracy, Bell, and Reddick all have extremely extensive criminal histories. In fact, Bell had just recently gotten out of a 5-year stint following a juvenile adjudication for murder. When he was just 13, he stabbed another teenager to death with a kitchen knife, but the Bronx DEA allowed him to reach a deal that would have him released extremely early. Bell is getting extremely angry and adamant that he puts in the most work for the gang, and strongly urges everyone to follow him to rival CAC territory
That's why they gave him a second chance.
on Morris Avenue to settle the dispute. The large group of YG's members walks several blocks down to the Melrose Projects, passing by the Bronx County Criminal Court. Not long after this, a man calls 911.
Yep, City 911. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
The man states that he was returning from the store and was walking under some scaffolding when he saw a group of 6 or 7 tall teenage dark-skinned male blacks attacking 2 male Hispanics. He knew the victim from the neighborhood. He observes 2 of the perpetrators attacking the kid on the ground, stomping him, and the others were attacking the other male Hispanic, who was screaming for help and asking for anybody to call 911, which he did.
Why he did that? Why he edited
For
like
help and asking for anybody to call 911,
I'm
which he
fucking
did.
crying.
He tells the dispatcher that the group is now running towards a football field on Melrose Avenue. The NYPD responds and finds 16-year-old Moises Laura, also known as Noah Balla, dying in a pool of his own blood. The injuries are so severe that they believe that he has been shot. EMS arrived and transported Laura to Lincoln Hospital, but he later died. An autopsy, being shown publicly for the first time since Bracy's sentencing, reveals that the extent of the beating of Laura by the YGs was nothing short of barbaric.
Jeez.
Laura's right leg was completely broken.
Damn.
He had blunt impact injuries on his lower extremities, hands, torso, legs, neck, head, and face. His skull was fractured in multiple places, and his brain was severely damaged to the point that he had a TBI.
Come on, man. That shit is crazy, bro.
And did Rel describe to you what happened when they proceeded to Cortland?
Yes,
What did he tell you?
they walked to Cortland. They seen Noah and Polo sitting on the bench.
When they saw Noah and Polo on the bench, were they facing Noah and Polo or were they behind Noah and Polo?
They was behind them.
What happened after they saw Noah and Polo on the bench?
They was creeping up on them. They hopped the gate, started walking through the grass. Noah and Polo was speaking. Noah got up. As he was talking, he got up and jumped off the bench. When he went to turn around, he seen them.
He saw who?
He seen Deli and Rel. He told Polo. They started to run. As they started to run, Noah broke his leg. Polo kept running. They caught Noah, and they jumped him.
Who caught Noah?
Deli, Rel, Mel, Aunt Flocka, and the other Rel.
You said they jumped him?
Yes,
Did Rel tell you what he did to Noah?
kicked him.
Did Rel tell you what he did to Polo, if anything?
Not exactly.
Did he describe what happened to Polo?
He said Polo came back and they also jumped him.
So first Polo ran away,
Yes,
and then at some point he came back,
yes,
and that's when they jumped Polo?
yes.
Did Rel tell you what happened after they jumped Polo and Noah?
They walked down 151 and Morris and they proceeded to Takim's house.
Did he tell you what happened at Takim's house?
Deli got there and immediately started talking about the murder.
Who was at Takim's house?
Deli, Rel, the other Rel, Mel, and Aunt Flocka.
Did Rel describe to you what Deli was saying at
Yo, this
Takim's
shit
house?
is bananas,
He said
bro.
they
I'm
were
not
saying
even
that they
gonna
thought
lie.
they
This
killed
shit
him.
is
And
crazy.
Deli was saying, no, I killed him. I was the one stomping on his head. Y'all was just kicking him.
And what, if anything, did Rel say about what he thought about Deli talking about the murder at Takim's house?
He said he thought it was a bad idea. He thought that Takim would be the one to tell on him.
La Roche-Posay Lipicard body cream.
Somebody snitched, but I guess it's not the right nigga. Oh, this is crazy.
Rel was right. Tykeem Berry ended up being the missing link that got the YG's members, including him, arrested for the murder of Noah Balla many years later. Rel, also known as William Bracy, began plotting ways of getting out of the situation. He was notoriously violent, much like Deli Del. In fact, years after he participated in the killing of Noah Balla, he shot a man in the balls, and a police officer had to retrieve a piece of the victim's testicle from the sidewalk.
Damn.
In addition to this, Rel was also very cunning. While in jail,
Bro, nah. My boy a demon. No funny shit. That's some demonic shit right there. I ain't gonna lie. Shot the nigga in the yak. Like, police had to pick his balls up off the sidewalk. Like,
Metropolitan Detention Center, Rel showed a fellow inmate a still picture from the surveillance video of him and his associates leaving the crime scene. Rel then asked the inmate to identify him in the picture. The inmate picked the wrong person. Rel was ecstatic. He told the inmate that if he couldn't pick him out, it would be impossible for the government to do so at trial. His plan was foolproof. He was sure that he would escape imprisonment for helping
how the
to
fuck niggas even know this? As a nigga who been behind bars, like niggas was, you know what I'm saying? This the time, like I had somebody show me a picture, like yo, pick who you think it is. Like I experienced this shit in real life. Like niggas had a still of the picture of the surveillance footage, and niggas thought, yeah, I'm gonna be Nigga got locked up, bro. Like it was quiet.
one of the most brutal murders in Bronx, New York City history. There was just one small, tiny, minuscule problem. When he was explaining to the inmate that he picked the wrong person, Rel told him where he actually was located in the photo. That inmate, who himself was facing serious prison time, ended up being Dalla, the government informant who was also a YG's member.
Oh my God.
When Rel realized that Dalla would be testifying on behalf of the government, he had to think of a new plan. He decided that he would try to argue that he was simply present at the site of the murder of Noah Balla, and did not take an active role in it. After all,
Niggas running. Oh my God. Nigga thought he was. This is the type of shit young niggas gotta watch. You gotta watch shit like this, so you be hip and you're not hypnotized. He thought he was just talking to his mans. Whole time, his mans. It's like, oh my God, bro.
with Deli Del being the one who
Yo, niggas wanna go home, son. When you really behind bars, bro, you willing to stop all that shit, bro. Because you are no longer in control of your own life. If motherfuckers could get just some of that shit shaved off or completely dissolve it, bro, they're gonna do it, bro. They're gonna do it. You're gonna miss getting up and going to the bathroom, bro. You're gonna miss getting up, going to your refrigerator. You're gonna miss going to your closet. You're gonna miss going to the corner store. You're gonna miss just going to work, going on the train. Like little shit like that, bro, you're gonna miss the fuck out of it. And every day you're gonna wake up right there. You're gonna sleep. You're gonna dream like you regular dream in your bed. And you're gonna think you in your bed every fucking time. And you're gonna wake up and your brain is gonna quickly remind you, oh.
about stomping on Noah's head, it would be hard for the government to prove that Rel did anything. This plan didn't work either. Dalla, the government informant, also had another conversation with Deli Del and Rel while they were in jail. Deli told him that he was jumping up and down on Noah Balla's head, stomping on his head with both feet while Rel and others just kicked him. Upon hearing this statement, Rel laughed, and later corroborated it by saying that he did in fact kick Noah repeatedly. Finally, Rel's last-ditch attempt at getting a light sentence was a letter from his mother, as well as college researchers who said that he was college material and actually a pretty good kid, who was the unfortunate victim of NYPD harassment. The judge disagreed. Judge Valerie Caproni sentenced William Bracey, also known as Rel, to 33 years in federal prison for the murder of NOAH Balla. She told him, "Mr. Bracey, you have been convicted of one of the most serious federal offenses. The Young Gunners Gang, which you were a high-level leader of and which you acknowledge being a part of for years, made life absolutely awful in that area of the Bronx. While you and your buddies were shooting at each other and brawling in the street and selling drugs and kicking people to death, there were other people in that community who were trying to live a decent life. They were trying to raise their children, they were trying to go to work, take their children to school, and you made their life hell.
It's a harsh reality,
There is
bro.
no other way of
Like, to you, you just living, you just doing your thing, but you don't get how the way you live in your life is affecting other people's quality of life. It's a sad reality.
it. I find the portrayal of you by the researchers to actually make your behavior more serious than some of your buddies who also did terrible things. Based on their letters, you actually thought about what was going on in your neighborhood. You were able to articulate what the problems in the neighborhood were. Those conversations had to have included a discussion of the dangers and the horrors of street gangs. They had to. Those people were too smart not to have discussed that with you. And yet you remained in the gang, rising to the level of the head of a subset, presumably lying regularly to the researchers to portray yourself as just the innocent victim of overzealous policing. You and your buddies, okay, you were drinking. You know what, we have all been drinking. We've all been drunk. We don't all grab somebody and beat him to death. You can't excuse this for having imbibed alcohol that day. You and your buddies intentionally went into rival territory looking for trouble to show what big men you were to show that you could do work for your gang. So what did you do? You found someone. That's depraved. People don't hunt for other people to hurt. That is not what people are supposed to do. That would be depraved conduct by itself, that you went looking for trouble to go hurt somebody, and it would justify a long sentence, even if you yourself never kicked Laura. But you did. You kicked a 90-pound boy who, running from you, fell. He could not get up to run away. Your buddy Bell stomped on his head, and you kicked his body. I am struck by the fact that you are 22 years old, you have no legitimate work history, you have a child who needs financial and emotional support, and yet that did not motivate you to do anything to consider getting a job. You have had positive role models. Your mother got clean from drugs and became a community activist. You had high-level attention from social science researchers who thought you were college material. None of that affected your behavior at all. I think it didn't affect it because you have no respect for the notion of living within the rules of society. If this were just a matter of making poor choices, it would be different. But I keep coming back to the fact that the murder of Noah was a particularly depraved homicide. Even if he hadn't died, the notion that you would kick someone literally who is down, who cannot run away from you, what were you thinking? That level of depravity is not just a matter of being young. It is not just a matter of growing up in a bad neighborhood without...
Look, man, that's enough. Because the judge lit him up. She lit him up. Man, that story is a crazy story. I ain't gonna lie. That's some Bronx shit. You heard about that. Depending on how old you are, you heard about that. Shit is unnecessary, bro. It's really unnecessary. In reality, New York City, we should be unified as a whole city because, like, you gotta think the concept of New York City, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, is because in this small little tight city, it's really not that big. Like, it's like 8 million people, bro. You know what you could do with just 10% of that? 10% of that, that's like the hood, bro. You could sell out Madison Square Garden. You could sell out Yankee Stadium, bro. You could sell out merchandise. You could sell out whatever. You could do so much shit in this city if you could get New York City behind you. Niggas gotta reroute they thinking, man. It's 2023. It's time to elevate. It's not the 1960s, 1970s. You know what I'm saying? Where gangs was race-based to protect you and people who look like you, people who sound like you. Now it's just trendy. Like, you just do it because why not? It's a waste of fucking time, bro. No, look, man.